話を見直してください。ポッドキャスタディ。
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Weeb Shit Monday. Now, I know I said I was going to start out a new review series starting off with Berserk, but this last weekend, I really didn't have time, so I read a short little story, not manga, but I feel like it deserves kind of talked about a little bit because it's not discussed as much in the comic book world as it should be because it is a wonderful story. It's called I Hate Fairyland. Let me see who it's made by so I can give the right credits. It is made by Scotty Young. This man took the average Alice in Wonderland story where a character falls into a brand new world and is sent on this epic adventure of finding a key. And 9 times out of 10, it's a beautiful adventure filled with bright characters. You know, all of these things coming to life, candy drop mountains, candy canes that will talk and sing with you, gumdrops you can pick up and chuck like an average rock. You would think that's it, but no. This story decides to take that normal plot line that we are so used to seeing when it comes to stories of another world where it's not an isekai. This time, she is on the quest. She starts off as a 6-year-old girl. 6-year-old girl falls through a hole in her floor, and she ends up in a place called Fairyland. You know, and the Queen Claudia, decides to tell her, "Welcome to Fairyland, where you'll find all your dreams come true, and you're going to go on a great adventure to find a key. Once you find a key, you can go back home." And of course, 6-year-old's like, "Oh, this is a beautiful place. Of course I'm going to go do it. I'm so excited." And then, come to find out, 27 years later, she has not even came close to finding the key to leave Fairyland. And that's the entire series, is just her getting in different ways to escape Fairyland. And the first, it runs on four volumes. There's 4 5-chapter volumes that come out. The first one deals with her being an absolute menace to Fairyland after the 27 years, talking about killing the first narrator, which was the Moon, telling the story of Gertrude and how she got there. And at the end of it, she's like, "Hey, kaboom!" Hits him with a cannon and just kills them all. And then all the stars are like, "Oh, okay. So you want to take out Big Papa Moon? Well, we're going to try and kill you." And of course, lo and behold, she grabs bombs and just starts knocking the stars out one by one. And the Queen is sitting there like, "How are we going to get rid of Gertrude? She's been nothing but an absolute fucking menace this entire time. How are we going to get rid of her?" And the stars start falling. And she says, "Man, why, it's such a beautiful night. This is the first, star meteor shower that we've had in a while." One of the stars hits her right in the face, and it's just blood. It's this bloody scene. The only thing I could compare it to is if Deadpool took acid and then they drew it in a very bright and colorful style. It's a wonderful. It's a very interesting take because we don't usually see these little kid elements be thrown in with violence and gore. I mean, obviously, they don't even have cussing until the very last, very, 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 very last page, which is Gertrude in an actual adult job. Because of course, we're gonna find out in the last chapter that she escapes Fairyland, and she goes to a corporate job. And the very last page is "Fuck Fairyland." Now, you're probably asking me, well, what makes that so special? Why is her saying "Fuck Fairyland" such a great page? The entire story, every time somebody wants to cuss, it's replaced by a different word. Fuck is replaced with fluff. Shit is some, I can't remember what shit was. I don't think they use shit so much, but they use fluff a lot. Like, fluff is their go-to word. Then, of course, ape for ass. It's just replacements. It's replacements for swear because this is supposed to be a children's fairy tale land. So I understand. It does get repetitive after a while when you start seeing all of the other characters just start swearing and cussing, and it's being replaced by fluff and all that. And you're just like, okay, they've run their course on it. Now, some of the themes that we encounter during this is Gertrude going to hell. She obviously dies. Like, there's no escaping. At one point, she dies. She goes to hell, and her permanent hell is going back home and seeing her parents try and force feed her pancakes and try and go to school, which it really doesn't explain it that much. Why that's her personal hell. You would think for someone like Gertrude, a personal hell would be like just this happy, cutesy shit all the time. But after we do that, she snaps out of it and she's like, yeah, this isn't my personal hell there, guy. You want to know what my personal hell is? Reliving Fairy Tale Land all over again. Because you got to remember, she's been there for 27 years. So, and we go back to her doing everything she did in Fairy Tale Land for the last 27 years. And I think that would be a more personal hell than just seeing loved ones you haven't seen in so long, because you are just reliving everything you've done. Like, what's going to happen. You're going to win. Like, who's going to die, how they're going to die. It would suck. So to be that, it's very odd. They pick very odd themes to put in this. And I understand it's only 20 chapters, so I'm not expecting this long, drawn-out story, which is one of my major problems I have with this comic series, is that it's really short. I was expecting something like this to build on a long escapade of maybe, I would say 50 chapters. 50 chapters would definitely be a high point for this, but 20 just seems kind of like you get 4 short stories and there you go. Nothing more, nothing less. And the editor's notes on the end of one of them was, I had ideas, but the closer I was coming to the end of this, the more I got the itch to want to do other stories, and I was kind of losing interest, so that's why I cut it where I did, which I understand personally. I would have just liked more, even if they handed it to another artist or they handed it to another creator to keep writing the story. I would have liked more, but I get what I get. One thing I loved about I Hate Fairyland is just the take on the Alice in Wonderland sort of esque theme that they go with, because a lot of it is just dealing with, these many different things in this world represent your real life traumas or your real life goings on, and I Hate Fairyland is just like, yeah, it's everything you hate in a kid's show. Like talking trees, talking roads, everything fucking talks, everything sings, everything is all beautiful and pretty. It's all, but then, it's just like 27 years here, bro. I'm ready for everything to die. I will kill everything. I will take this axe and just slaughter the entirety of this place simply because it is bright, it is colorful, and it pisses me off. I think that's really all I can say. This really, like I said, it wasn't a long series. It was 20 chapters, maybe 14 pages each. So it wasn't an extremely long read, and there wasn't a lot that you can go off character development, because Gertrude, obviously, or Gert, is a 33-year-old woman in a 6-year-old's body that just wants the fuck out of this place and will do anything to achieve that goal, even killing everything in her way. Then, of course, we have her conscience, sort of, Jiminy Cricket. Jiminy Cricket, was that his name? A Jiminy Cricket-esque sort of guide that's supposed to guide her through the entire thing, and have, like, being with her for 27 years, he's just like, yeah, fuck. I hate you. You're such a piece of shit, and you're a piece of shit. I don't even need to say it. And it's a constant back and forth between them. It's, like I said, the themes there are very in your face. They're not very hidden. You don't have to search very hard to understand what they're trying to go for in a scene. That's not like a little character backdrop, the background maybe hanging by a tree. It's all right there. They explain it, and sometimes they break the third wall to be like, hey, do you understand what's going on? Good, let's keep on moving. Let's keep going. Which I appreciate with something like this, because I have a feeling that when he first started writing this out, he wanted it to be a short story. He didn't want it to be this long, grandiose tale of a big adventure, which I would have, like I said, we're going to go back to another me personally thing. Me personally, I would have loved to see Gertrude's 27 years in Fairyland, what she did in them 27 years, what was kind of that changing point into why she just started to hate this place. I would have loved that. That would have made it a great scene, but again, they cut it perfectly to where they thought it would, and it deserves more love than what it got. Now, a place you can go read this is Image Comics. Image Comics has a lot under their belt, so I'm not surprised that this is one that made it onto Image Comics. But that's all I have to say about I Hate Fairyland. Go read it. Go give it a little peek. It's definitely worth the read. Next week, I'm starting Berserker, and how I'm going to do that is we're going to go arc by arc. We're going to start with the Black Swordsman arc and then continue on from there. The only problem I have is maybe the Golden Age arc might be a two-parter because the Golden Age arc is just fucking gigantic. So it's going to take a minute. But next week, Berserk review, and then that's how it's going to be for the next couple weeks. I just want to do, I'm going to start doing manga reviews every week. That's how it's going to go. So if you liked what you heard, you can find this on any podcasting platform. You can find it over on YouTube for the video version. If you want to follow me on Twitter to watch my descent into madness throughout the day, that is twitter.com/enoughstuff. Or if you want to see pictures of my beautiful face, go to instagram.com/podcastaddy. That has been me for the day. You have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Be safe. And as always, keep your balls clean.